Hey, everybody. Welcome to bonus content. Boner content. Oh. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure it's picking up your guys' audio. Or I could just sit here and talk to myself for 3 hours. Do. Yeah. All right. I know where you're going with that. Is fair. Um, Scott, yell at me for a second. Okay. The, Not yet. Hold on one sec. Bear with me, everyone. See if this will work. Yeah.
Is Noption's like a
Um,
little circle lit up for everybody all the time, or is that just me?
Scott, yell at me for a second.
Let me check.
It's lit up for me.
Yeah, Noption with the 100% instant continuous transmission.
Nabashin is always lit, I believe.
Yeah.
Is
He's
the-
just over there vaping with his hot mod, you know.
He's got the
And
ohms.
the ironic twist is that the
yeah.
noise from the vape
Options
is what's
like-
lighting the thing up.
Yeah. What kind of coils you rocking over there, bro? Tell me how many sub ohms you got.
Nabashin, you don't have to take this. We're good. Also, everything's working again. Apologies.
You got like branded e-juice by Rip Trippers, King of Vape.
Rip trippers.
Get some of that rainbow nuggets.
I don't even know. It's. I feel like it's the amount of just stuff that you can say that I would believe about this, Tony. That is alarming.
You know what's funny? All the stuff I said is real.
I fucking 100% believe it.
Scott, the situation mid lane is going to be interesting.
Y'all need to stop playing League of Legends.
See, I got queued up against a Riven. It's going to be fucking weird.
There's a boss in Destiny that's named Riven.
Oh.
Scott, how's
Wonder
life
where they got
treating you?
that from.
It's pretty boring.
It's pretty boring.
Pretty swamped.
Okay. I mean,
So
fair enough.
it's. You want to know what my Monday's like?
Sure.
Okay, so I wake up at like 6.
Yikes.
Fuck that.
Then I don't get out of bed
Yeah.
till like 7.
That sounds
That sounds
awful.
about right.
Sounds
Yeah, it's
right,
about
but
right.
it's awful.
Why do you wake up at
7?
6 then?
That's a good question. I try to not do
I
that.
would get up at like 6:58.
So then I kind of get up at 7, but I don't do anything useful. I'm not in the same spot in my bed anymore, but I'm still not up yet.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So you've done a half.
Then at around and a half hour later at 7:30, that's when I get up and I start to get ready.
God.
I get to work at around 9.
Oh,
I'll
man,
leave at around 4:30.
What a commute.
Bro, I have to get to work at 9 and I wake up at 8:10.
Yeah, that's about right for me too. I get to work at like 8. I wake up at 7. You know.
Yeah, I have to deal with traffic.
Yeah. Tony,
You guys get to skirt around it.
Tony, you moved today.
I did.
Are you closer to work or are you further from it?
I'm like equidistant from work.
Okay. That's
It's
good.
just like
So
I don't know what traffic in the morning is like around the area that I'm in now. So until I get to like 95, I don't know.
So
we'll see.
after that,
Mm-hmm.
I get to eat dinner at home.
Yeah.
But that's about all the time I have there, because then I have to go leave during high traffic times
Jesus.
to go to school. School starts at 7, ends at 9:40, and then I get home at around 10:30. That's a Monday.
I assume sleep comes soon after then.
Generally, I have to turn in an assignment on Monday,
Okay.
and I ask questions day of because it's a week turnaround on a once a week class. I make adjustments, then turn it in, then I get to go to bed.
Yeah. Mike Burgess in our chat. Shout out to Big Mike. He says he feels you. He gets up at 5:30 every day to go to work at 7. That just sounds awful. I'm not trying to
But
dig
do you then have to do that again
Yeah,
for the second half of the day?
it's the commute back home or back to school that's rough.
Yeah, the first part's easy.
Yeah.
But then you got to do it twice.
Yeah. Yikes. That's just Monday. Is this like the majority of your time throughout the week?
Um, it's a similar story.
Yeah.
Monday I get next to no schoolwork done, so that is a day that I don't get to do any sort of schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
So that builds up for Tuesday. So Tuesday is a similar story, except for I don't have to do it twice. I just go to school and come back. But this time I get back at around 6. Then I
Okay.
do have Wednesday off.
Okay.
But as I said, I don't really have Monday and most of Tuesday for schoolwork. So
So
guess
you're
what Wednesday becomes?
just doing work, doing schoolwork.
Doing schoolwork.
You've got such
Thursday is just like Tuesday.
you got such a schedule though.
Friday, I go back into work. And then Saturday, I get to work from home. And then I
Okay.
do a podcast. So I also don't do any schoolwork on Saturdays. Or really play a whole lot of games.
Yeah. Except for League of Legends during the podcast.
It's the
During
only
the
time he
podcast.
gets, dude.
Are you trying to like harbor resentment to me over this? Because listen, I get it. I
Oh,
understand.
no. You making me do the podcast is not the thing that you're being punished for ever.
Okay. As long as
That'd be a
that's
pretty
not
good
it.
excuse, though. He was like, I just don't like doing the podcast, so I have to punish you for making me do the podcast.
You fucked up. All right. Not say I do have a greater appreciation for your week though, Scott.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's the reason why Wednesday and essentially Sunday's all blocked out for schoolwork is because now every class on top of the usual homeworks and then a quiz every week for 3 classes.
Mm-hmm.
You have a term project for every class.
Jeez. That sounds awful. Screw term projects. I mean, like, screw school, though. But stay in school, kids. Tony?
Hey.
I mean, I covered my week. That's what I did.
Yeah, no, I get it. I respect it. Like I said, I have better perspective now. I'm glad that it makes me appreciate my week and how slightly less busy it is. Take all those moments I could get. Even though Destiny's ruining my life. Tony, how are you? How was your week?
My week's pretty good. It was a pretty slow week. I worked and I stopped working,
Mm-hmm.
and here I am.
And you moved.
Yeah, I moved today.
Yeah. When did you start?
What? When did I start moving?
Yeah.
I'd say about like 9:30ish. I got out.
Because I texted you at 3 and you're like, dude, I finished like hours ago.
It didn't take me very long.
I was just curious. Are you comfy now? Is everything all set up?
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. I haven't like unpacked clothes or anything yet, but I also haven't gone out to buy like a dresser and shit yet.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's gonna be a little bit before I do that shit. But yeah, everything else is pretty much set up. It didn't take too long, so it's not bad. Not bad. I like that it. It was basically painless.
Yeah. I respect that. Did you get into any shenanigans this week?
Nope.
Damn, no shenanigans. I mean, I didn't get
I
any
worked and then I
shenanigans.
packed stuff up.
Fair enough. Nabishan, how's your week?
It's been fine.
A chill week, trill week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get into any shenanigans?
I did, but I'm so checked out right now that I can't really think. I didn't really get a nap in today. Like right after work.
Bro, I did. I'm a firm supporter of the nap.
Yeah, I would like one, but like right after work, I had to go to a 7-year-old's birthday party. So
That does sound shenanigan full. Now, obviously, you did watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2 this week. How do you
I
how
did.
do you feel about it? I want to because we talked about it briefly. I wanted to hear a little bit more thoughts.
Say that again. You cut out for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. We talked about it briefly. I wanted to hear a little bit more thoughts. What mostly, I want to know how you felt like right coming out of it because we talked about it briefly of like you didn't. It's not like you hated it right from the get go.
No, and I still don't really hate it, honestly. I had like issues with it. Like I dislike it. Like when I it's like when I really think about it, it's like it's one of those things where it's like the thing I'm really just like upset about it really is that like is the potential of that movie. Because there's so much I like about it, and then there's just so much I just don't like about it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just too much shit into it that like just screws up the whole thing. When I was really thinking about it, like I feel the same way about Amazing Spider-Man 2, the same way I feel about like Man of Steel. Whereas like there's so many good elements to it. The good casting and like memorable moments and like the suit being like on point. I'm gonna talk about for both Man of Steel and for Spider-Man when I say this. But there's just like this so much just like careless, just dumb shit that's completely avoidable if you like actually cared about it, but like or it's portrayed like they don't care about it, and it's like whatever, just put it out there. It's just that they're not thinking about it, like they're not thinking, and just like Spider-Man at the beginning, just like doing his funny quips and like making fun of the Rhino while like he just bulldozes like over like 100 cars. Not I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like he bulldozers like so many cars and like just like is like what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff. It's like that doesn't make sense. But like at the same time, Spider-Man has these great moments where it's just like he sees this kid in the street and like he's getting bullied and like they kind of wreck his science experiment and like Spider-Man just jumps in front of the bullies and like the bullies run away, and then like he just sees his like this wind turbine science project this kid has. Like, did you make this? Like, this is awesome. And like he fixes it a little bit with his webbing and it's like, yeah, just tell me about it. Like I want to like know about it. And like that type of shit. Like I love that shit. That shit is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the whole Jamie Foxx thing where it's like Jamie Foxx is this amazing actor, and when he's Electro, he's really good. But this whole Max thing at the beginning where he's like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like it bothers me. See, now you woke me up. Thank you, Alex. I'm awake now.
I got you, man.
Welcome back to the universe.
And it gets me just so worked up. It's just like, why all this? Why any of this? And it's like there's another thing. It's just like the whole this Green Goblin thing at the end. It's like literally the last 5 minutes of the movie is just like him just showing up to like fight for like literally like 5 minutes, and then like it's over just like that. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
What is it? Was basically, hey, we should probably set up for movie 3 at some point.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or movie 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well, what if there's a Sinister Six thing? Yeah, it's just, it's a lot. It's weird because I remember adamantly, because I was like in the Tim Geddes, Kevin Coelho camp for folks in the kind of funny community listening, like they're watching along. It's part of the reason why we're talking about it. Well, why not should watch it for the first time. But I was like adamantly defended of like, this was good. Like I had fun. And like I don't know why at the time I didn't think there was too much in that movie, but there very much was. There so much was. But yeah, it's just like as time went on, and I went back and reread that post I read a couple weeks after seeing it, which for folks who don't know, it's like a Drunk Hulk Film Critic. It's like a Twitter account, but he was so fucking furious after reading this movie or watching this movie that instead of doing like one single tweet jokes about it in like all yelling all caps Hulk voice, he wrote up like this 1,800 word like essay as to like why the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a fucking mess. And it's like the most compelling, like, I totally understand where you're coming from essay I've read in a long time. But yeah, I went back and I reread most of it and I was like, yeah, dude, fuck. But like, how do you feel now that you've watched all the Raimi movies and these two Amazing Spider-Man movies? Do you think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best of them?
I don't think that much, but like I get where they're coming from. I'm more in the great camp where it's like I think Spider-Man 2 is
Hard facts.
Hard truths.
Hard truths, yes, excuse me.
Whereas like 2 is the best out of all of them, and like then it's for me it'd probably be Amazing and then Amazing 2.
Mm-hmm.
Though I really like stuff about Amazing 2 is just like there's just stuff that just like almost unforgivable stuff that's in that movie.
Yeah, dude.
That really gets me. But like at the same time, like I see the good in it, and like what really makes me mad is just like I said, is just the potential. That could have been the best Spider-Man movie, and it really could have. And there's so many elements with it, and like even though the Gwen thing was like not ham-fist, I'm sorry, it was like dramatized at the end, like as far as like how she died. Like if you like from going from like the first movie into that movie, like you feel that shit.
Yeah,
you really feel that shit, and like and that was earned. It's just like it has all this other garbage around it, that just ruins it.
It's like you have to ignore so much to really
like a clock tower right by a power factory.
Yeah, like
it's like dumb stuff like that. It's like what is happening?
You have to ignore all these other parts of that story in order to like enjoy the Gwen Stacy Peter arc in that story. I feel like you have to set aside all of the lessons that you're supposed to have learned from that first movie. And like everything that happened, you have to kind of pretend like it didn't happen in order for that to be like as impactful as they wanted it to be, I think. And it's impactful in spite of that because of how genuine that relationship feels. But even still, yeah.
It's just one of those things that get my goat. Like, you know, like kind of like how it's I guess it's kind of I guess more than like Man of Steel is more like Justice League, where like Justice League there's parts I love about Justice League. Like I said, I love the last like 15 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
But like they're just for that to happen, you have to like completely ignore everything that built up to that point, and like you can't really do that, especially with these movies. And like, it's hard. Dude.
It's about like Justice League is a movie I can never watch again because then I'll see what's wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like, I had like just a fun time that first time, and I didn't like really have any like there's some stuff I didn't love, but I didn't have like major complaints. It wasn't shitty for me. And then like those last 15 minutes happen. I'm like, this is great, and I walk out. I'm happy because I came in with such low expectations, but I know as soon as I watch it again, it's gonna be like, oh no, what was I thinking? So it's just one of those things that I could just never watch that movie again. That's fine.
I get that.
Everybody's dropping out of the DC universe anyway. All the actors are gone.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, like as much as I'm like, cause like I'm seeing Venom next week.
Okay.
And like I have zero expectations for that.
The lowest of expectations. I'm right there. The lowest of expectations.
Yeah, because do you know what they're doing with that?
In what way, Scott?
Okay, so they're building a Spider-Man villains universe.
Yeah, but like
without Spider-Man,
which is it's so terrible. I don't know how you can have a compelling Venom movie without Spider-Man in it. I mean, you could. Eddie Brock is not like a terrible character. I don't think Sony can do it. More specifically. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, because their Sinister Six movie, that's not happening anymore, and their Aunt May movie, I forgot about that also when they were talking about that. I forgot they were going to do that Sally Fields Aunt May movie.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
And
but,
it's like, come on, you're missing your most important character.
yeah, I just want to know what that movie would be. I want to read the script for that movie because I gotta know. What do you do? What is that movie? But yeah, I don't know. And it's like, so the Venom movie takes place, I guess, in San Francisco, so not New York. You know, it's like very set apart.
Shit.
Yeah,
Man.
very set apart from like Spider-Man. But Sony's been very coy about like, well, is this in like the MCU, like that Spider-Man? I feel like some people have said yes and some people have said no. And it's like, I don't know. Also, like, in this movie, Eddie Brock's like a 26-year-old dude, and Spider-Man's like 15 somewhere. Like,
Well, yeah, that's generally how it goes.
yeah, but
Like, he's a good distance older than.
you think about like the symbiote attaching to Spider-Man, like also like isn't that specifically supposed to happen before or like at the same time it attaches to Venom?
It's sometimes
Either way.
but it's not like a oh, hey, 3 years has passed and this thing's come back again type thing.
Okay. Okay.
Generally, it's when they show an iteration of Spider-Man, they don't make it past the year before like 7 villains go down that line, and Venom's always within the first 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Or not there entirely.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna see it right away now, Machine. You're gonna have to be our on the field reporter on that one.
Yeah. I've been watching with my friend Tony, and that's been great.
How does your friend Tony feel about the Spider-Man movies? I'm really curious because he's kind of outside all of this, right?
Yeah. You know, he doesn't have like he's not even like a social media person at all. So like all his opinions is his opinions, and like we just have a good like chat about it. It was like after we talked about watching the Amazing Spider-Man, I realized that like why we're best friends is like we just like because I don't really. Well, I do, but like I don't at the same time go on these like long depth conversations about like this one thing. Like I do it with Tony and I do it like with you guys, but like I was like, wow, I was like, I really don't do that often with that many people, so I guess that's why he's special. But anyway, like he's so here's a good take from him.
Okay.
And like I even agree with it. It was like when we went to go see Spider-Man: Homecoming. It was like a year before or after we saw that movie. I can't remember which, but like whatever. But like after or around that time when we saw that movie, he was telling me like because he haven't watched like the movies in a long time, but he was telling me like dude, there's no good Spider-Man movies, and like because he's a diehard comic book fan, and he's like and he was just saying like pretty much like. Because I think it was after we watched Homecoming. He's like, man, that was a fun movie. That was a good movie. But like, I guess I'm never going to get the Spider-Man that I want on the big screen. And he's saying like, you know, like going through all the beats and like motivations and stuff like that, and like in being showcased the way that he wants it to. It's selfish, but like he understands that. And he's like, oh, I guess I'm not going to get it the way that I want it. And like rewatching these movies, which I you know, like it's really interesting. Like, yeah, they're really like other than Homecoming, to an extent, like there really isn't really good Spider-Man movies. Like they all had like their own like problems and issues. Like the Raimi ones are too campy. And like I said, like even though I like Spider-Man 2 a lot, they go so hard about like the issues with Spider-Man and not really like you know, like there's no even point to that. Like they go so hard. I'm like Spider-Man, like, oh man, this is a bummer to be Spider-Man. And like and immediately in Spider-Man 3, like, oh, I figured the shit out and like I'm good and like have no issues whatsoever.
I think the funniest part about that is that they went so heavy into it's tough to be Spider-Man in 2 pre-Incredibles.
Yeah.
So you look at it. Look at it now.
It just doesn't age well.
Yeah,
that whole thing about Rhino plowing through like 50 cars makes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It doesn't hold a candle Oh, whoops.
Yeah, and so like the Raimi movies have their own charm, and like I still like them, but like other than in 3, but like but like I could see that they're not that great movies, and like the amazing movies, like I just have my own like personal issues with it, like for like the first one, and like it was just like it was a lot of things, but like it's like the vengefulness for Peter, I didn't really like in the Amazing One,
Yeah.
and like because it's like I was watching it with Tony because like we're going to watch Amazing 2 together I think tomorrow because he hasn't caught up yet before we go see Venom, and like we were watching it yesterday, and like there was a scene where like when like Peter was just like pretty much assaulting people, bad people, but like he was still assaulting people, and like like looking for the tattoo for one of the guys up that, and like he was like fighting one guy, and like and then like he fell over the edge, and Peter caught him, and like then he like looked to see if he had a tattoo on his hand, and then like. And I just said to Tony, like, what if he had the tattoo? We just fucking let him go and just let him drop it to his death right there,
Drop him to the ground.
and it's like probably would have, and like it's like man, like, and for that thing he just completely forgotten about later on. Like it's just like it's so much.
Yeah,
I have issues.
Yeah, because it's the way that thing's portrayed originally is best done in the campy versions.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's what makes that part more genuine, like at the very least in those versions, is that it's the same night.
Yeah,
30 minutes. It's like 30 minutes after it happens.
Yeah, it's all kind of tied together.
It's he finds out night of where the police are chasing this guy. So it's generally it's not a day later.
Yeah, it's like him going on this quest for like months, right? In the Amazing
You never
Spider-Man.
found the guy apparently, and if they did, they never mentioned it. That's the whole thing.
He's like hunting him for weeks.
At the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 1, he still has the poster of that guy. He's like, "I'm gonna get you, motherfucker," type of thing. And it's like, and like in the Amazing 2, it's just like it's not even brought up. It's like Uncle Ben's killer. What happened? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Whatever.
Waking out. But yeah, that's that. I don't want to talk about Spider-Man anymore.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to follow up.
It's been a disappointing year for Spider-Man in general.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Other than Homecoming,
I still love
and
Homecoming
Infinity
so
War.
much.
And Infinity War. Oh, I love Homecoming. Homecoming's pretty.
I mean, I hear aside from your experience, everybody else likes Spider-Man with wheels for it.
I think you would get a kick out of that kind of funny series, Scott. It's like them going back and watching the Sam Raimi ones and being like, whoa, woof. But they were fun at the time, and I still have those fond memories of seeing him as a kid and just being so wide-eyed,
Mm-hmm. And like the other thing I wanted to mention that I did this week, it was 2 days ago. I saw the My Hero Academia movie.
Mister, I'm never gonna see it over here.
Did I say that?
You did. You're like, whatever, it's not canon. You said that to me. One of my coworkers and I were trying to actually go see it.
It's worth it. I think it was more of like because I didn't see anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just pretty much went because like I messaged Tony like, hey, it's out. It's like in our theaters. Like, we want to go see it. He's like, fuck yeah, and we went to go see it. And like it was really just like a spontaneous thing. Like I wasn't even really thinking about it. And it was like the reason I guess I was like pessimistic or like jokey about it was because of, like it's like all anime movies are bad. It's just like one long episode, and it's like which is true for this movie in the grand scheme of things. But like there's two pivotal parts I want to talk about. Like not to really talk about it like in general, but like when I was watching it, like I think it was like we were watching it. It was the dub version, by the way, and like for hearing the dub, like I thought that the dub was actually really good. That was the first time I ever heard it. Like I really like All Might's skinny voice, but like I'm not really a big fan of his big voice. It's a weird thing, but whatever. That's just me being picky. But like like we were watching the movie and like it was like a minute went by in that movie, and I could just lean over to Tony's like, why am I getting chills already? Because like there was like there was shit happening on screen that like I was just fucking loving. And then like the other thing I want to mention is like it was at the end scene of the movie, which is like I guess it'd be predictable if you really thought about what that movie's going to be about or what's going to happen in the movie, but like I guess I wasn't really putting two together, and like I just like went and just watched it, and then like the thing happened, and then like I was like literally saying like oh my god like 3 times, and like it was I'm not saying like it's the most amazing thing ever, but like for me and what I saw on the screen, and like it was a small scene, it was just something on the screen, and like I just like oh my god like I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but like it's like I'm saying it's I'm overhyping it because like I love the series a lot, and like just seeing what I saw was really enjoyable for me for a lot of reasons.
That's fair. I mean, I think all of us really like My Hero Academia, so I think that'll touch base at least with some of us. Maybe not to the same extent, but
I think it will, especially you, Alex, for reasons.
okay. Appreciate the non-spoilers.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to go see the My Hero Academia movie. It's too. I go with you, Tony. It's too bad that Destiny is ruining my life, and I don't have time to do anything else. And I'm so broken on the inside.
Tell you don't want to hold hands and cry.
Oh, we would too. I'd be like crying into your shoulder. If my I'll ask my coworker, and if he wants to go, maybe I can loop him and we'll go have a date night.
Do I know this coworker?
No, you don't.
Oh, it's a shame. I will.
I mean, you know him, but I don't know if it's someone you're.
Invite Wale.
Yeah, it's Wale.
I think you have until Tuesday until like the movie's gone. By the way. So
Okay.
I'm off
Get on
on
it.
Tuesday, so.
Yeah, we might be able to do it Tuesday. I wasn't feeling super well today, but Mike in our live chat just says, "I'm tired, Alex. I am too, Mike. Destiny's taking everything from me." We'll talk about it on the show, but I've just had a long week, and I just not feeling 100%. I don't know if it's because of Destiny, but I think it's certainly related. But yeah, I woke up just feeling disgusting this morning, and it's one of those things where I have to wear something on my ear at work, like a walkie, and it like really irritates my ear sometimes, and then I think I might have gotten an ear infection after wearing it for a long time. So it's just that, and being tired, and just having a long week and whatnot. Apologize that the podcast hasn't posted. I'm behind on that, editing something. Just like I've just had no time, because anytime I play Destiny, because I am terrible. I'm a mess. It's all falling apart.
Alex will send out a message to us, be like, "Everyone, make sure your track is up," before he even checks to see if the tracks are up. So
I haven't sent that message in 2 weeks.
When that message doesn't come, you know Alex is not on top of it.
Yeah, I'm fucking falling apart. I'm trying to get my life back together over the next week. Hopefully after tomorrow, after I finish the raid.
Maybe with like some My Hero inspiration.
Maybe
take that step. Like I don't know. Or I'm just gonna start playing Destiny. And you're gonna be like, "Fuck, I gotta play some."
I gotta play with Tony. I'll start playing on my alt. Fuck, I guess. Get my Titan up for you, Tony. I'll do anything. But yeah, it's just been a long week. I'm excited to talk about video games with you guys. Let's get into it. I'm gonna go
1 minute.
Yeah, I gotta refill my glass of water, and then we can when we come back, we'll be getting started. So for live viewers, we'll be back momentarily. Well, I was setting up. I gotta like plug in and set up the live stream and make the event thing. It's a whole like 2 things I gotta do.
Tell you how deep I went into it. There is now a pillowcase over my mouse.
Hey,
Hell yeah,
So-
dude.
my waveforms look really fucking weird, so I want to take a look at this shit.
Sure.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna stop recording.
You can everyone stop recording. I just want to make sure. Clear out your audio. What's going on, Tony?
I have to fix like some of my settings got fucked up. I gotta fix it. Hold on.
All right. Thank you for catching that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this whole podcast would have sounded like I was podcasting from a mile away. Otherwise,
Welcome to my ASMR podcast.
hopefully this.
All right, crumple this paper. When I went up to get my glass of water, I just like drank an entire glass of water in front of the refrigerator and then filled up my water again because I'm just so dehydrated. I don't know why. My body is actively fighting back against destiny. Also, Nabashin, I'm now in the early access tier of the Easy Allies, so you don't have to feel bad about sending me things early.
Okay, cool.
I'll still forget, and you should still do it because I just won't. I'll forget, but there's no longer guilt associated with it.
Awesome.
Okay, I think this should be okay. I think it might pick up just a little bit more background noise than usual, but I can fix that.
Okay, if you got it under control, I have faith in you. All right, you ready to start recording, Tony?
Yeah.
Cool. Everybody on 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All good. Everything look good.
You're okay.
Everything looks good.
Cool. It is Saturday, September 29th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guth here,
Hello,
Tony Horvath.
Tony.
I
Tony?
was thinking, like, what if I just rebel against Alex and never say anything?
Then Scott says something.
Yeah, I was like, how long will they wait?
And of course, our fourth, Brian Nobshin Jackson.
For you. Oh my god.
Man, that song's so old.
What was
Like from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like there's
There's no reason why that should be in there.
no fucking reason. Oh my god.
Listen to the bonus content on YouTube for our Nobshin's hot takes on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We can get into it. Hello, everyone. Hello, my lovely co-hosts. Welcome to Irrational Passions podcast. It's episode 396. We're 4 weeks away from 400. Still have no plans. We can still probably get Gersman. I believe in us. Should we do it, Tony?
Yes.
Okay. Send the email tonight. Just be like, hey, I host a dumb, terrible podcast. Would you like to come on it?
I
But
feel like we got some connections.
yeah, we got some people. We could probably swing it. Here's the thing. Would you rather do Gersman or Dan Reichert?
Gersman.
Okay.
I love Dan, and like this may be a take, but like actually no, it's not a take. Just Jeff Gersman is like my video game journalism fucking hero.
He's your dude.
He's my man.
You
Dan's just like a cool dude.
yeah.
You
Dan's
know?
in Maryland right now.
Really?
Yeah. He's
Hanging
hanging with Danny.
Oh,
They did
cool.
the dancers today.
Okay,
Oh
cool.
shit!
First time in 2.5 years.
That's
I
a
felt
good.
like the balance in the world was off.
Yeah,
And
that's
not
right.
Too close together. So it's that way every time we go to like PAX or whatever, and I'm like, oh, how
Mhm.
can I be so close to this other man?
Yeah. The Taco Bell balance is not right in the world.
Yeah, dude, I went to the place where he got married.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, I want to go to that Taco Bell.
We were trying to crash his wedding. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's probably for the best that you didn't. We got a great show lined up for all of y'all. We're gonna talk about some video games. I'm gonna talk about how Destiny is ruining my life. We We got some news, some questions. We got a Silver PR voicemail. We got the works this week. It's going to be a good show. But let's start things off with some housekeeping. Irrational Passions podcast brought to you by IrrationalPassions.com, website where people write about video games, make videos about video games, and we do other shows and podcasts and stuff that are cool that you should listen to or watch, such as the third and final iteration of our Batman Arkham Asylum video game book club. So this is the first book club that we have finished. It was really fun. I really loved going back and playing Arkham Asylum. I played it 3 years ago in 2015 when I finished Arkham Knight. Or no, I didn't play Arkham Asylum that time. I just played City and Origins. But excuse me. That was really cool to see that game again. To play like the remaster, which I had not played before. It was funny, like right before that third episode, they dropped the Xbox One X patch for it, that remaster. So by the end of it, I was playing Arkham Asylum at 60 frames per second, which was pretty cool. And it was after we had a lot of us had played Spider-Man, and we got to kind of talk about the two in regards to one another and how there's clear influence for one over the other. And the next video game book club, the book club we are doing for October. So if you'd like to play along with us, is Dead Space 2. I'm so excited to play Dead Space 2 again. So we were splitting into 3 or 5 chapters per episode. So the first 5 chapters of Dead Space 2. Listeners want to play along with us and catch up for our first episode.
Will you be playing the multiplayer?
No. We should, though, just for fun. I guess Mike and I could. I think Scott's playing it on PS3, but Mike and I are playing on Xbox One backwards compatibility.
PS4.
It's not on PS4.
Oh. I'll probably just not be playing it then.
Yeah, they never remastered it and put it on PS4 or Xbox One.
This EA.
Which is a bummer. Those games are great. That's why I'm really excited to go and play it. Podcast Ultimate Episode 3 is finally out. There's some YouTube issues with when we uploaded it, but we had Blessing Adeoye on there from OK Beast.
It's like a curse now with you and Blessing, where you just can't like do a podcast together.
Absolutely not. Except for the PAX West cast that I was on. No.
Well, that's their content, not your.
They're on the OK Beast thing, but of course, like the show of ours that they're on, fucking nightmare. Absolutely ruined for sure. But no, that was really awesome. It was cool to get Blessings kind of, because he's just like Scott, Mike, and I, and Scott Guthrie as well, to an extent of like just hardcore love Smash Brothers, love the hype. Just so excited. So it was cool to get him on there and kind of get his perspective for it.
How does he feel about Kingdom Hearts?
I know he doesn't love Kingdom Hearts, but
Right, good.
he doesn't hate Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he's a defender as far as like the dates and stuff like that. But like I don't think he's like into it like most people are, or most people like me and Alex
most
are.
people in
yeah, Alex and Scott are.
Like crazy people are. Logan Moore, our friend from Dual Shockers, and just my friend in general, he texts me every time he has ramen now, which is great because I got him hooked on ramen when we were in Seattle together. He was on an episode of Inputs. A lot of guests on shows this week. Now I look at it. And they talked about, they did some shout outs for some different things. And I think they talked a lot about Prey because the article image is Prey. They're still talking about Prey on Input. It's like that or David Cage. It's all they could talk about. And then there was, because Input basically can release multiple times a week, they're kind of trying to cover more specific stories per episode. They also did an episode specifically on the Telltale closure. And Mike Burgess's reviews of State of Mind and Spider-Man are up now. Both video reviews, both very good. I would say his Spider-Man review is one of his best cut reviews. He had a lot of fun making that. I know for sure, for a fact. So that's it. All this stuff's on IrrationalPassions.com. Some of it's on YouTube.com/IrrationalPassions. You can watch it in either place. Either way, I hope you enjoy. Let's talk about video games, because that's what we do here. Nabashin, I want to talk about video games with you. What you been playing?
Something I think I did last week that I didn't talk about. I think I forgot it or whatever. Is that what?
I too have something I forgot about last week. I'm gonna write it here, and we'll talk about it later.
Was the fact that I beat Overcooked 2.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah.
3 stars across the board, I hope.
Oh yeah, it's like that or a bust for me and Katie when we play it. And like it was like me, Katie, and her boyfriend Joe. When we went through that entire game. Like in different settings because like because I would always go over to their place to play the game, but like it just like our scheduling was like messed up because they were about to go to a convention in Atlanta like later on that month and stuff like that. So like it was like hard to sort of to play together. But like what we did like you know, it was like 3 stars and like coordinating and like just going through the level over and over again until we actually get it right. And yeah, we dominated that game. We dominated it hard too. It almost seemed easier than the first Overcooked, but like I guess to be fair, when me and Katie played the first Overcooked with just the 2 of us, and now that we have a 3rd person, it made it like slightly easier. And like there were still some challenges and still some like fuckery with that game, but like for the most part, we were able to like get the 3 stars like almost the first try for like maybe like probably like 3/4 of that game. Just because we had good coordination and like once we figured out what to do, we could do it pretty good. And I think the game is a little bit more lax as far as like the goal is to get in 3 stars than it was before.
That's pretty impressive, by the way.
Yeah.
I played Overcooked, and that is not an easy thing that you're talking about having just done.
I imagine it's harder than the second one too.
Well, no, it's slightly easier because like I think it's because of the combo meter, and the combo meter is basically if you do the order that's on the screen in the order that it is, and like you know like don't like put something else before another order, but like do the orders in order, like multiply the amount of points that you get, and like that makes it slightly easier to get it right. So like if you do that and you do it consistently and you do it fast, obviously, then like you can get it done pretty good. So like yeah, Overcooked 2, awesome game.
Cool.
That was really fun.
That sounds awesome. I'm excited. I think that's one of the things that we're trying to coordinate a thing for Extra Life to do. I've just never played Overcooked. I'd like to play it, preferably with you guys. I feel like we would have a dumb amount of fun with that.
Is that our Mario Party for this year?
No, we have a Mario Party for this year. So,
which Mario Party is it?
Super Mario Party, the new one.
Mario Party 6.
I mean, we can older consoles are going to be too hard to swing, so we're going to have to.
Mario Party 6 is the only good Mario Party.
Mario Party 5 is pretty good.
I like Mario Party 8.
All right, moving on.
Let's do 10. Mario Party 10.
Let's do 10. Just none of us willing to move off of our hill. I'm really interested to see.
But then, of course, I also picked the worst one.
Oh yeah, fucking 10. The fucking dumb car. God.
Can I say something real bad? I'm so sorry to Scott for buying Super Luigi U. We played that one fucking time, and we're never going to play that dumb game again. And he did it all for the bit, and he bought it just for the bit. And I forgot Scott.
No, but that bit was good, and like that highlight from Extra Life is really funny. And we're all like genuinely not fucking around. We're all fucking miserable through that whole thing. Like none of us are having fun, and Tony just literally gets up and turns off the console at the end. And he's like, "No, we're not playing another level. I don't care." It was a good bit.
I couldn't even ironically have a good time.
No, like
feel like they weren't having a good time.
We were trying, like we really tried to have like an ironic good time, but no, that game almost ruined Extra Life. So let's hope Super Mario Party genuinely ruins it. Please. But yeah, that's one we got to do. What else have you been playing, Option?
I played I should say like I slightly experienced the Soul Calibur 6 beta. But why I say that is like it came out, I fired it up. I saw it didn't have a training mode, which was kind of like a disappointment for me. And like kind of did just like one match and like just to see how it runs, and it ran pretty good for what it was, but like I turned it off after that and just pretty much just watched like a YouTuber named Maximilian Dude just like play it for like the rest of the day. Him using Siegfried most of the time because that's his favorite character in the game. But like yeah, like that game looks pretty all right. I can't wait to play it and like actually like do some training mode and like play the game for myself. It seems like it's really harkens back to like well I can't really say harken back because I've never really been a Soul Calibur fan per se. Like I played 2 and I played 4, and those are the main ones that I actually played. 2 because of Link, obviously. 4 because of it was on PS3, and I was like, sure, fucking why not? I got Darth Vader in it. I guess that's cool for most people. And like I enjoyed those games for what they were. But I never really got into it. But like I want to like give it like an honest shot. Like I know Kate's like a diehard like Soul Calibur fan. She's played like almost every one of them. So like I'm sure she'll want some matches, and like as long as it's local, I'm always down for that. I'm not so much of a fan of like online fighting anymore. Like I just gotten like so sick of lag for the most part, except for like Tekken. Tekken's like the only reason, or the only one I can like tolerate as far as like online matches. But like anything else is just like nah. I just like even like a frame delay just like it bugs me too much.
Yeah, Soul Calibur is the one I've like barely touched. Like I played 2 when I was younger, but that was like so long ago because it had Link in it, and he was like so cheap. So when I played like with my brother or my brother's friends, so I didn't have any friends that played Soul Calibur. I didn't have any cool friends at the time. Like
he was good.
Yeah,
and there was a few characters who couldn't do a whole lot against him.
Yeah,
but he wasn't Max.
Yeah, he wasn't. But
he wasn't.
But like we're just like dicking around, and like I jump into Link because I'm like, oh, this is cool, and I'm fucking like sweeping people under the legs with my fucking Master Sword, and they're just yelling at me.
He also wasn't Killick.
Yeah,
those are the two, Maxie and Killick.
But yeah, I've just like I have so little experience with Soul Calibur. I know it's another one that we're probably gonna boot up at Extra Life just because we're gonna have a lot of people there and be fun to play.
Hell yeah.
And also Geralt's in it, and he's cool. So, yeah, I also heard the beta was not working super well.
It was. It's more of like It was more of like a. It's like if you try to prioritize like having like good like a good connection, like it's just you couldn't like really good connection. Like it was like weird that way. Because like if you said like any connection, you get matched up like pretty frequently, and like for what that was like and for like how it ran, it actually has like really good netcode for what it is. But you know, it's an online game, so I won't do that.
I know Scott White and Jarrett were trying to play games together, and it was just like random ranked matches. They could not play. They were bummed out about that, but cool. That's just something they had mentioned to me. What else you got, Albertson?
Fired up Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Didn't get too far into it. Maybe like an hour, or maybe an hour or two. Like I just got into like the second area, pretty much after like the opening cutscene area, because like it goes to like it goes to a flashback after the opening cutscene. So like I'm at the opening cutscene area, and like as of right now, playing through it, like it's a very good and polished game, but it feels like it didn't really learn much of like from the other games. Like it didn't seem like it took any like real lessons from it. It's just like it seemed like another one of them. As far as like making an improvement other than like looking visually good and better. Like I don't think they really did much of an improvement of like the story or not too much on it, I should say. And like there's just like weird animations that like which are funny, but like it really gets like like for your like I like if you look up like the giant bomb quick look up Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it's like the first like 5 seconds of the quick look, and like it's just like things like that. It's like it's like it's not bad or anything like that. It's kind of just funny. But it's like that's kind of like how you feel like when you play the game. It's just like it's just like that's a silly thing. Like when she goes underwater, like when she comes out, it's like she's not like wet or anything, or doesn't really seem like it. And I think what's really like kind of like tearing me away from the game a little bit. Like the game is still good, and like I still can't wait to like actually like play and get into it. But like the other game I'm going to talk about this list is like really just got my interest right now, and like I just don't know how long I'll stick with it. But like when I play this game, and like it just like makes me think about like Uncharted Lost Legacy, and like it's just like, man, like it doesn't play as good as this because I think Tomb Raider games play a little bit better than the Uncharted games, but like it has like more interesting stuff that's like, going on, like, more interesting banter, more interesting characters, more interesting events that are happening in the game. And like this Tomb Raider is just like it has the good gameplay, it has a good character with Laura, but like everything else is just like it's not really just doing it for me. But I don't know, maybe it's just like just beginning woes, and like I'll like evolve from it later. But like that's just how I feel right now.
I think that's fair too. It's I bought Shadow of the Tomb Raider the day it came out. I still have not touched it yet, but I'd like to. So keep me posted on your feelings. What's that other thing you've been playing?
Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Hell yeah!
I didn't get too far into it. I've maybe gotten to like because like I did the whole demo because I just wanted like the perks from that, and then like I just went immediately to the game. So I did the chapter like right after that, I believe. So I'm like chapter 4. I did the interlude part where like they show like the beginning with of Rise, I think it's Claude and Raz. Claude and Raz, and then like I started the mission for like the chapter after that.
Chapter 3, I think that is.
Chapter 3 or chapter 4, one of those two. But yeah, dude, like
what do you think, man?
I'm loving it. It's so what I want, and it's even getting to the point it's more than I want.
Yeah.
And I say more than I want because of like some stuff that you mentioned before, but like I guess I didn't realize how good it would be is like making like your other members matter a little bit more. Just having them just even having them like have a dialogue while you're talking to someone else, and like they're actually in the conversation as well. So like, oh, I kind of know you, and like, oh, you sound pretty cool. Let me just put you in my next submission just because like you seem cool, or I like the way you talk, or like you just seem interesting for that moment. And other things like there's a good scene, even though it's like it's not a good part, but like it shows like good personality. It's just the same. What's his name? Raz. Sorry,
you're good. Raz. The names took me a bit of a while too.
Yeah, it was a scene with Raz and Kai, where it's like they were just talking. They were like talking while like God, I just need to get these names down. Like I haven't played in like 2 days, so that's why
Claude, Raz, Kai, and Riley are kind of like the main four.
Okay, it was like it was Kai and Raz looking at Claude and Riley, and like they were just talking, and like Raz just like grabbed Kai's butt, and then she punched him in the face, and like I know like that's like that's like it's not a good scene for modern days, but like it just that scene alone just shows like personality and personality that I like, because it's like I don't know, like it just seems more alive because of that. Yeah, just because of that scene alone. And like like there's scenes like earlier like from the end of the demo where like you're seeing like Claude has this like shadow that like that's following him this entire time, as far as like something about him being scary Claude. I don't know like the full context of it, about that yet, but like having to do around his parents and like the friction with them right now. Like right now they're like they can work together, but like it's not like that she's completely forgiven him. So like all that's good, and even like the past thing with like how Race and like not going with Claude at all, because it's like you're fucking scaredy Claude. Like why should I fucking follow you? But like the way that like he gets around it and like plays onto like I just like it.
There's a lot of good dynamics going on too.
Yeah, I'm just really digging it.
And I think like they do a good job, I think, across the board with a lot of their female characters. I know some people are saying that this game has a lot of rampant sexism in it. That particular scene that you're talking about, there's like somebody wrote an article about it, because to them it's just interpreted as like a really sexist kind of classes of the men versus the women on the team. But I think they do a really great job at like, one, showing that the female team members are like nothing to fuck with, but two, also like they make big plays and they like come in and save the day a lot more than the male members of the team. And I think like there's a good balance to the gender dynamics there. And plus, like a lot of the ancillary squad members you get are female. I feel like there are more female squad members than male squad members, at least the ones I have on my team too.
And like even like the first Valkyria was like a good like female to male ratio, as far as like your commander was a female, and like Elise and Rosie and Isara, they're like big members of that team. So like
there's a trans character in the squad as well. They like, don't make a big deal out of it, but I just like I didn't realize. I was like, oh, this is like well done and really cool. I was like I'm really impressed with a lot of the kind of gender dynamics that game does personally. It's funny, we talked about it last week and I was talking about how I kind of wanted more from the villain side, and like that was something they did a lot in the first game. Literally the chapter after I was in, it's just like so much of that. Like they like all of it, like they were just waiting moments, and it's like the second time it's happened where I'm like, I kind of wish there was more of this, and then like I play a little bit more and like there's a ton of that. So it is kind of just firing on all cylinders for me. It's very good. I'm in chapter 10 or 11 now. I think 10.
You're close to the end game now.
I assume I'm close to the end game. I think the first one had like 17 chapters, and this one seems like it's going to have a little bit less than that.
Okay.
The chapters are a lot longer. There are way more chapters with like multiple maps in the same chapter. So that's why I get that vibe. And it definitely just kind of seems like I'm at the end game. I know there are like a few things that I need to do, and then I'll be kind of like where the story is leading me to. But it's like a lot of twists and turns there. There's a lot of surprises along the way. I kind of understand the reasoning why they kind of waited to show you more of the villain side toward the end, of just like they wanted to kind of shock and awe you, or they wanted you to kind of like let your defenses down by the time you get there. And it's just very good. Like again, there's kind of like a mechanic that they introduce in chapter 8 that is I wouldn't say a complete game changer, but it's like it definitely changes a lot of what you can do. And way more than the first game, I'm finding myself now that I'm fighting elite enemies, so basically enemies level 11 or higher, where they get better armor, better weapons, and secondary weapons. Now that I'm fighting those guys a lot, or predominantly those guys, I am like using my orders a lot, which I never had to do outside of like hard mode really in the first game.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, and I'm sure you've already seen like the way that they're structuring missions, like right from the beginning, is a lot trickier. But like once you get to those harder enemies, it's like, fuck, I gotta like put my nose to the grindstone on this and really think this through, which I like. I think it's rewarding. It's just like the chapters become more exhausting, and I have to kind of like do one chapter and then walk away for a little bit.
And like even like how you unlock new characters in that game, whereas like you just have to have members of your squad just talk to each other.
Mhm.
Like that's a very Persona 5 way of like like forcing you to like use every member of your team like just to like just to get more out of the game, and like I just really enjoy that because of that.
Yeah. I'm glad you're liking it. What are you playing it on?
PS4.
Okay. That is where I am playing it as well. I know quite a few folks have been playing on Switch. Greg Miller's been playing on Switch. Which there are times when I'm like, I could do like a skirmish or something if I could just take this up to bed with me. Which is a bummer, but generally I'm having a blast on PS4. It runs as smooth 60 frames and looks great. So.
Like it's like I'm still in the beginning moments of it, but like it is giving me one of those feelings where it's like you're not just like doing what I want, but you're doing more of what I want.
They really, really did a great job with this.
Yeah, so like that's just like I'm just like jonesing on it. Like I'm loving it so far. So.
Yeah. I guess there's like a bonus mission where you get to play as Squad 7 from Valkyria Chronicles 1 as well. I don't know how you get that. It's like free
I'm
DLC
not
or something. But
I got it. I just haven't done it. I got the big tank thing, so the special edition, so it came with that. So
cool. I'm glad you're liking it. It's a great game. It's gonna be definitely on my favorite games of the year list. So
yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Tony, video games, man.
Video games. I played League of Legends. If you want to talk about League.
How do you feel about League of Legends this week? Are you angry? Are you upset?
No. I have
Yeah.
I've won like almost every single game I played with Aurelion Sol this week, and it's kind of weird.
Not trying to brag or anything. You're just like
No, not at all. It's just like it's pretty unusual. Usually I'm like as close to like 50% win ratio, but I'm like 90% win ratio this week. And I haven't really changed much, so I don't know. Just fucking on a roll this week, dude. Yeah,
good.
It's pretty cool.
Is that all you've been playing? You haven't jumped into anything else?
Yep, that's literally it.
Are you going to play Destiny?
Yeah.
2 or 1?
Let's go back. Let's run the raids.
I played Destiny 1.
Let's run the raids in Destiny 1, Tony. Let's do it. You and me. 2-man the raids. But I mean, like, so you watched us play a little bit of the raid on Sunday, and you're like, all right, I'll do it. I'm asking you, are you really going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want to get hurt again, okay? I've been hurt too many times before. Cool. We'll loop back around to Destiny. We'll talk about that later. Scott, what about you? You been playing anything good?
League with Tony, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Do you play an Aurelion Sol, or you play somebody else?
No.
How can he play Aurelion Sol if we're playing Aurelion Sol?
I don't know, man. Can you play the little balls that Aurelion Sol throws around? I guess
Wait, what?
Nobody liked my joke.
I was really confused. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, Aurelion Sol's got those balls that float around him, right?
It's got stars, yeah.
Stars, excuse me. I was making a joke about
listen.
Yeah?
We understand trying to make a joke, but it's rude to make fun of people with Ligma.
It's true.
Yeah. Aurelion Sol, Ligma Haver.
Ligma Haver, Ligma Balzer. Cool. Who do you play predominantly, Scott?
I mean, I can tell you what champion.
Dr. Mundo and Ezreal.
Yeah.
As long as Mundo's still in the mix. I mean...
But I don't play them all the time.
Okay.
Scott tries to make the worst possible champion picks in Champion Select and then win the game with them.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's really funny, though. I respect that.
I mean, generally, I do okay.
Yeah. I know you are a good member of the team, in my opinion, Scott. I don't care what Tony says about you behind your back.
I'm just saying, like
that, that's what I do.
We'll have like 5 AP champions or 4 AP champions. He'll be like, oh, man, might as well pick a 5th one.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a terrible idea because there are 2 types of resistances in the league: armor and magic resist. Right? AP is magic resist, damage is armor.
Yeah, if you put all your damage in one basket, it's really easy to counter your entire team.
Yeah. but never stopped you before, Scott, and I'm proud of you. Cool. I played some video games. I didn't mention it last week because it was it was the weekend before. I played it like kind of right after the show. But last week I had played some Blackout. The Call of Duty Battle Royale mode had its closed beta. I managed to procure a code. Speaking of, now I'm saying this, I should probably cancel my pre-order before I forget. Don't want to pull another Watchdog situation and have Call of Duty Black Ops 4 just show up to my house. But I had a great time with Blackout. I didn't do well by any means, but I was really into.
You play with NATO?
I didn't play with NATO. I did play on Xbox One, but I didn't play with NATO. But basically, I don't know. It's cool. I think Blackout reminds me of the battle royales I've played. It reminds me the most of PUBG. It kind of has that more militaristic look. The kind of big takeaway I had, and I think a lot of people had, is it's very polished, right? It's got a good, clean look to it. It feels good. There's not a lot of frame rate drops. It runs at a pretty consistent frame rate. It doesn't look quite as good as like standard Call of Duty. Obviously, I think the player count caps at 88. It's not quite 100. I think they might be working on getting that to 100. But the map itself is really cool. It's a lot of references to big areas or moments in previous Call of Duty campaigns. There's an island called Nuketown Island that has the Nuketown map on it. So it's like one small part of this greater map. It's got the dam from like, I think Modern Warfare 2. It's got certain, like the villa from, I think, also Modern Warfare 2, a couple other points. I don't know, it's really cool. It looks good. It plays well. The thing that really threw me off is because you have inventory, right? You have like health kits and different guns and different ammo types you have to carry just like you would in a PUBG, which is not something you typically think about in Call of Duty. You have like this quick select inventory that's all mapped to just the D-pad. So you're kind of scrolling through your inventory just with the D-pad. But I think it generally works pretty well. It goes with the kind of healing system. Like there's no auto regen health in Black Ops 4. You have to heal yourself. So you can click in the right bumper to heal yourself. So like that mode just kind of lends itself to that new mechanic that's true across the whole Black Ops 4 system. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fun. I had a good time with it. There are like special items and perks you pick up, and you can activate a perk and it'll last a certain amount of time pretty much. You can get like kind of kill streak-esque items, like the little remote controlled rocket car, or like the shield that you lay down and it builds up into like a bigger barrier for covering fire. The shooting still feels great. I was really impressed with it overall. There's not typically vehicles in Call of Duty games, but this one obviously has tons and tons of vehicles. I jumped into a random squad, and that was honestly the most fun I had with it. They call it solo something and quads. They don't call it like duos and squads. They have their own little naming for it. But yeah, it was cool, like rolling with 4 people in a Call of Duty style game, which is not typically like very squad based, and like rolling down on like a point and having people flank around. Like it felt really good. Like I was really impressed with it. I think generally the experience coming off of the Blackout beta was really positive. So I did terribly for the most part, but I had a good time doing it. So I just want to mention that because I just slipped my mind last week. I still don't think I'm in for Black Ops 4, but that's just because I think I'm just over it at this point, you know.
I think most people are kind of over it at this point.
Yeah, I feel like most people, at least in our circles, I think the general populace is way into it. But I'm happy to say that the Battle Royale mode that they are building for that game is really well done, and it seems really cool. I think they'll probably have to make another map for that game, but at least one more, maybe two more. But I think the one that they did make for Battle Royale is very cool. And there are parts of the map, like I just want to explore that map because it has so many references to all these other Call of Duty games, and it's very referential to its history. So there are parts of that map I wanted to explore, I just didn't get the chance to, but I had a good time with it. I also played Valkyria Chronicles 4. We kind of already talked about that. The game's still phenomenal. I know it's out now, and I will at some point have a fully written review of it when Destiny is not ruining my life, but I'm toward the end of that game, and spoilers, I think it's phenomenal. It's only gotten better and better as I've played more and more of it, and it really is firing on all cylinders for someone who loved that first game. I never played 2 or 3. Namish, I know you played 2, but I don't even know if those games were that similar to the first one. I feel like they weren't.
They were, but like the biggest thing about the PSP ones were they didn't have big maps.
Yeah, the maps were smaller, right?
Yeah, the maps were smaller. So what you would do, you would run to a flag, and it will load you into another different map. So that's how they would do that limitation, I guess. So it played good, and it was Valkyria, but it just didn't click for me.
Yeah, it's a big hit, and I know that kind of high school vibes it had to it too.
Yeah.
This is very much Valkyria Chronicles 1 again, but in all the best ways. Just like you were saying, it has everything you'd want from a kind of direct sequel to that first game, but also things that you wouldn't expect, the new Grenadier class. I think brings a very cool dynamic to that game. And it's man, this feels really broken up until the enemy starts using it against you, and you're like, oh fuck, this sucks.
Dude, I didn't even know until I think I played the later part of the demo. There was a bonus mission in the demo where you fight in the snow. And I didn't even realize they can do when someone's running across, they could actually do attacks while they're running across.
Interception fire.
Yeah, I had no idea that was going to happen. And it's oh my god, dude, that changes everything.
Yeah, and it not only does it do a lot of damage, but it causes a slow status effect. So after you're hit by one of the grenades, you just move slower, meaning you're more likely to get hit by another one. And it just cripples the scout, which is typically pretty broken in Valkyria Chronicles. Still is to some extent. But it changes the kind of balance dynamic of that game. It's got all you want and more, and it's so nice to be able to say that about a game that for years it feels just not a lot of people knew about or had loved as kind of much as you or me did, Namishin, or as the kind of core fan base to that original game. So to see people kind of flock into this is cool, and to see them get the chance to make another one of them is really cool. But the only other thing I've been playing is Destiny 2. In the background, I was like, man, I wonder where I'm at with time wasted on Destiny. Just there's a website, wastedondestiny.com. This just kind of gives you an idea of how much Destiny you're playing. And I was just curious, so I looked up my time wasted on Destiny. And it says time wasted 0 hours, but I have 199 hours played in 49 minutes on Destiny 2. Just scraping up against that 400-hour mark. I'm trying to think. I think by the time I kind of walked away from Destiny to Vanilla, or that and its expansions, I sat at about 76 hours. So in the last 3 weeks of Destiny 2, I've played more than I did the entire run of Destiny 1, Destiny 2 original and its expansions, which is disgusting. And also, I don't know. I will actively say, I tweeted out just at 3 o'clock in the morning the other night, I'm like, wow, Destiny 2 is actively ruining my life. And a lot of people favored it. A lot of people came out of the wet work. And they're like, yeah, dude, I feel you. But Destiny has never been better, I think. I've definitely kind of come to the grips, come to my own terms with this expansion, Forsaken, is even better than the Taken King, which is a big deal. But what's even cooler beyond that, narratively, the Forsaken expansion is a sequel to the Taken King. It follows up a lot of the story notes and character notes that were left after that expansion, and is kind of following up on like what happened after Oryx died and the Taken King was gone, and what are the Taken doing now, and what does that mean? So like it is delivering on both parts. We don't necessarily have to get way into Destiny lore here, but I don't know, like the coolest things about Destiny 1 for me was like the Black Spindle quest, for example, that Tony and I ran together, where you have to like on this one day of this week, like this heroic daily story mission. So like one of the dailies had kind of a secret objective in it that it didn't tell you about. If you got to a certain point in that mission in a certain time limit, a door was open that you could go through, and then you had to go through like this challenging version of that quest in a certain amount of time. And you got this crazy powerful sniper rifle from doing it. Well, it turns out like in the Warmind expansion, the one that came out this past May, they added that gun kind of back into Destiny 2. And it's like a similar mission, and it appears in the world in this really cool way of like only on this planet during this time, Monday through Friday, during like a public event. And like if you kill an enemy, a portal will appear, and then you can go and do this time limited mission. I just did that before we started recording, and it was like really cool. And like that was something they added in Warmind, which kind of I was kind of out by the time Warmind came out. So they were already kind of getting back into that. But the biggest thing is so the Dreaming City, this end game area that is like where the raid takes place, and it's got the coolest stuff, the coolest lore. There's like a 3-week narrative that goes on in that area, and so we're in the 3rd week now since it came out. So like the Dreaming City's changed 3 times, and it's like completely different this week than it was versus week 1. And it looks different, and different enemies are appearing there, and like the heroic event that's kind of like, for your reference, like Court of Oryx, Tony, that takes place in the center of the map, that like you are fighting different enemies, and there's like a different special boss at the end because of the changes that have happened in the city over those weeks. And like there's just a bunch of stuff that happened in week 3 that is like so cool that I don't want to necessarily spoil for anyone out there, but like characters coming back that you haven't seen in a while, like that I haven't literally seen since Destiny 1 in the flesh, and certain events that lead to certain things. And amongst them is, so like there's like this hidden area in the Dreaming City. It's not like hidden as in completely impossible to find, but like it's just an area that's not on the map, and it's called the Confluence. It's like you take a portal there, and it's this realm. I assume it's like under the city. And over the last 3 weeks, this door there has been getting more taken-y, and now if you go to that door in this area, it says only if you find it and go there will it say new story mission available, the Shattered Throne. And you can enter that door, and it takes you to this like a dungeon, like an actual full dungeon with like raid like bosses in it and everything. And it's like, I didn't know about that. No one knew about it until this week, right? Because it only appears in week 3 of the Dreaming City. And going through that dungeon, it's like it's post raid content, which I don't even know if Destiny's ever done before, but like power wise, like the level you have to be is like higher than the raid. It's 390 is the end, or 590 is like the ending boss fight. So the raid is 550, and this is like 580, 590. So not only is like that really cool, and so I went through that with a couple of friends, two of the people that are running the raid with us, Jacob Palmer, who hosts the 3 Best Friends podcast, and I've been doing my limited run series with Kingdom Hearts with him and Matt over at 3bestfriends.com. Worth checking out. And also my friend Ren, who is one of like the What's Good Guardians, part of like the What's Good Games community, who's a big lore guy. So we went through that dungeon together. There's basically an exotic quest, so a quest to get a special weapon through there that, you know, we struggled through because we were way underpowered for it because we haven't even finished the raid yet. But it was like really cool, and it's like a really unique, interesting area. There are 2 bosses in there with their own like raid-like mechanics. And it has its own unique like respawn timer count on it. It's 45 seconds instead of 30 like it is for raids and stuff. Or well, like raids, there's no respawn, but it's not. It has its own unique mechanic to it, basically. But yeah, like that was super cool, and it's to get this really cool bow, this exotic bow that we ended up getting today after 3 days of chipping away at it. But yeah, like everything about the stuff they've been doing and like the stuff they've also been trickling out over the last couple of weeks has been really impressive. We took a run at the raid last Sunday. We did not beat it, but we got through the first encounter, the first boss. A lot of us were pretty underleveled for it, so when we're going to attempt it again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, it'll also be archived then. We are going to hopefully be a little bit better set for it. But yeah, it's the first encounter of the raid I don't think was like anything too special. It was very much reminiscent of some parts of the Leviathan raid. There's a lot of visual symbolism that you have to kind of remember and do things in regards to them. So I'm excited to see more of it. But yeah, I've been really impressed with it. Destiny 2 is ruining my life because I can't stop playing it, but I can't stop playing it because the stuff that it's providing, the stuff that it's doing is very cool and very unique. And it reminds me a lot of like the mysterious, random, out of nowhere, like Dark Soulsian like parts of Destiny 1 that I just loved. And like they're really getting into that again. And while like the grind is real and it's like very slow to get up, like I do at least feel like I'm getting rewarded for taking the time and investing the time, and I'm accessing new areas and I'm fighting new bosses and I'm seeing new things and getting new weapons, and it is firing on all cylinders. But boy, after I finish the raid, I'm going to stop playing Destiny for a little while. After I would go back and raid or do whatever or something like with Tony, but to like not play it as much as I have been every single day would be nice. That's for sure. But yeah, Destiny is a good video game. That's it. Someone end me. Someone take Destiny away from me. But that's all I've been playing. Really, it's just Destiny 2 and like very little bits of the other 2 things. I'm ready to move on. Let's. You guys want to take a quick break?
Sure.
When we come back, we'll talk about some news, a little bit of news to talk about, and got some questions, and then we'll make some bets and throw it out. So we will be back in just a little bit.
Choo.
I think.
News in gaming.
Let's talk about some news. Not a lot happened. Talked about the Telltale stuff last week. I think that was still the biggest thing. Still a little bit of fallout from that, but that is, I feel we've addressed it as much as we can. There's not going to be a PSX this year. The PlayStation Experience.
I saw a thing on Reddit that was like, they said last year, like, by the time PSX 2018 comes around, you'll be able to change your PSN name. And now they're just, like, canceling it. So, like, obviously, like, what did you expect?
They're like, we couldn't get the name change thing together. We got to cancel
Not
the
even
event.
worth having the event.
Yeah. The quote from Mr. Sean Layden, who we're going to have a few quotes from here this episode. He said, we won't have it in the States this year. Now that we have Spider-Man out the door, we're looking down into 2019 games like Dreams and Days Gone. Keeping that Dreams bell ringing, Nabashin. They're keeping the dream alive. But we wouldn't have enough to bring people all together in North America to have that event. We don't want to set expectations really high and then not deliver on that. Just like last year. This is me editorializing. It was a hard decision, but we've determined that this year we will not hold a PlayStation Experience. Which is not surprising. I don't think it's pretty late in the year. Usually, I think the latest they announced PSX was in September. And that was last year, if I remember correctly. I've been to PSX before. It's a fun time. I am bummed that they're not doing it. They kind of set the precedent that they were going to do it every year. But now they're kind of going back on that. It makes me wonder of like, is this a thing that they don't do ever again? Was it a thing that's just not profitable for them, or will they revisit this in like PS5 territory or et cetera, et cetera? I think it'd be really cool if Sony announced like the PlayStation 5 at a PlayStation Experience, at like their own thing that's kind of by fans for fans type mentality. But I guess we'll never know, or we won't know until it happens at the very least. Another big bit of PlayStation news this week, though.
Talk about the other thing?
What's the other thing? The Xbox thing?
No, the Greg Miller thing.
Oh yeah, that's. I was gonna loop back around to that.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. I'm trying to think. When I had that, I was gonna talk about that in here. I guess we can talk about it now, though. That's a good point, because basically in lieu of that announcement, Greg Miller was like, cool, we're going to do a kind of funny press conference. Instead of PSX, pretty much, we're going to do a press conference where if you want to come announce your game during, like, on our thing to our audience, like, come do it. And it's going to be after the Game Awards, I believe.
The day after the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Or the Saturday of the Game Awards. Yeah.
And a lot of people are, I guess, going to try and announce some things there. So that's going to be fun. I don't know if that's like an event. Like, I don't think that's happening in a place. I think that might just be a thing that they're streaming.
That's a stream that you're not all going to kind of funny studios or anything like that.
Yeah. So, but that'll be a fun thing. I think that's cool. And I guess a lot of people want to do it. So I'm really curious to see how that turns out. And I think that's fun of them to kind of carry that torch on too, of like, hey, like, you know, a lot of our audience also likes PlayStation, so let's fucking do a thing in lieu of that. And it's not PlayStation exclusive. They're welcoming all developers from all walks of life and console publications to talk about something they want to talk about or announce something during the Kind of Funny press conference. The other bit of PlayStation news, though, is they've opened the floodgates. They've, in some kind of beta form, or I think they're just referring to this as a beta, they've opened Fortnite on PlayStation 4 to be cross-platform compatible.
In some sort of beta.
With both Xbox and Switch and PC, but it was already cross-platform play with PC. It is a beta. I think it's like a separate download on PS4. I think that's why it's called a beta. But the thing was that beta terminology comes from our boy Sean Layden. He said on episode 308 of the PlayStation Blogcast that this is something that has been taking up about 65% of my Twitter feed over the last few months. Now enabling crossplay isn't as simple as flipping a switch, and there you go. It's a very multi-dimensional attribute or feature. Now keep in mind, there was a time when crossplay was enabled on Fortnite specifically, and then they had to turn it off. So it might actually be as simple as flipping a switch, but maybe Sony wouldn't want you to believe that. I don't know. I'm not trying to fucking plant seeds of doubt here, but I don't necessarily take that myself on face value.
What's with all the Sony hate, Alex?
Yeah, fucking Sony hater, Xbox fanboy, Alex O'Neill. Just saying, this should have happened a long time ago. Sean also went on to say, right now we're in a beta test program, and when you beta test something, you try to reduce the number of variables in the equation. So right now, Fortnite is a beta testing for crossplay. I think that certainly once we can prove that this is holding together sturdy and well, I would anticipate seeing other games in this service over time. So they are treating Fortnite as a beta for opening those floodgates, it seems, which is good. I think I was still under the impression that this was pretty inevitable. It just seemed pretty silly, all things considered. I guess I understand where Sony's coming from. They're the winners. They got the biggest install base. They shouldn't have to play nice with Xbox and Nintendo, but at the end of the day, people really just want to play Fortnite on PS4 and on their Switch and have the same account, and Sony wouldn't even let them do that. Now, Epic Games kind of came out there and said, hey, if you had to make another account because you couldn't use your primary one that you used on PS4 on Switch, we are creating a service over the next 2 months to merge your account with another account, bring all of your stuff together, et cetera, et cetera. So Epic is working on a kind of solution for those people that kind of got fucked out of their accounts, which is good on them. But I think that's cool. Fortnite is the first video game that you can play with anyone on any platform, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. It is a thing that has never happened before, and hopefully it will continue to happen a lot more. I would expect like Rocket League is the only other really big one that I would see this happening with. Do you guys Minecraft too? Would you guys want any games to also be cross-platform play?
No.
Not that. As far as games that have already come out, there was a few in the last generation.
Yeah,
but
right.
Not currently in this one because I haven't been playing this one.
Yeah, I don't know. Destiny would be pretty cool, guys, but I know that'll never happen. That's a whole other more complicated thing.
Let them focus on things that matter for Destiny.
Yeah, they're doing good with Destiny. I don't need them worrying about anything else right now. And also, kind of all these things a little bit related, I think, in a way. Xbox announced that they are doing some kind of big event this fall. And it's funny. I think this was announced. This was announced on the 28th. I don't know if it was after or before Sony said they're not. It was before. Okay, that's what I thought. Sony said they were not doing PSX, but Xbox is going to do something in Mexico City from November 10th to the 11th. And they're considering this a global celebration of all things Xbox. Excuse me, got the hiccups. And they're going to be doing some kind of, I don't want to say press conference, but a live event on Saturday, November 10th at 4 p.m. Eastern, so our time, 1 p.m. Pacific, to 6 p.m. Eastern. So a 2-hour show of some kind, and they're saying to expect some surprises. So maybe some kind of video games will be announced here. I would expect at least one video game. But yeah, I don't know. They've not done something like this before. It will be a thing that people can go to, I guess. There's no convention center listed here, but I assume that there will be something that people can go to and have fun at. Obviously, Microsoft has not done something like this. Sony has been doing it for a little bit, but I think that's cool.
I think they have like it's been a thing they've been doing in Mexico for a while.
Mhm.
Similar to their fan fest, I believe. It's just now they're just putting more in their what's it called?
Resources.
No, Insider Xbox. That they're like kind of Nintendo Direct type of thing. They're just
Mhm.
trying to they're just integrating that and making it a bigger thing. So,
Yeah, I think
hopefully
it's
good.
cool. Yeah, hopefully it's good. You know, like the precedent is low, like the expectation is low too. I think like it doesn't have to be some crazy PSX equivalent, like The Last of Us 2 doesn't have to be announced there or whatever. But it could be a cool thing, and it could be a thing Microsoft molds into something that they do that is theirs and theirs alone. And I think that's rad. That's it. That's all I got for news. Is there any other news that you had an option?
No, I do kind of have like a somewhat of a like talking point or comment
Sure.
or something.
Hit me with it.
About like pretty much like the Sony Fortnite thing. Because it's not like really like to defend them or anything like that, but it's like it's more of like just trying to get into their mind of the way they were probably thinking about it. Because it's like obviously the Fortnite thing and the way they handled it was like just a bad thing. Just the way to block your account from like even like having that progression going to other systems is like a shitty thing to do in general.
Mm-hmm.
And like just doing that, like just fixing that would have been enough for everybody. But for the fact that they did the whole crossplay thing and just allowing that is like a big thing. I feel because like is once they make this decision and since they made that decision, like they can't like back down from it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like it's something that like because it's like you could just say like, oh, they're just doing it for Fortnite, but like, no, you can't just do it for Fortnite now. Like once you do this, you have to do it for everything. So it's like they can't be stubborn and like or just suddenly just decide to like to block off something anymore. So like I guess I'm just saying like I'm glad that they did the right thing.
Yeah, me too.
So
It's one of those things like we've talked about a lot in the show. It's like I guess I kind of reluctantly I understand where they're coming from, but it is a reluctant thing when like at the end of the day it felt like it just came down to like they were doing the best and they didn't have to accommodate anyone else. And it's one of those things where like
because honestly it felt like one of those things where it's like everyone's mad about it and then like we just kind of all just forgot about it,
or we
it's
just
like,
accept it. We just dealt with it. You know?
Yeah. It's like one of those things like we'll accept it, and then it's like by the time the next generation comes on, like I remember that, so like I'll probably just be hesitant and buy a Sony console over a Microsoft console or something like that. But like
yeah, and I was still upset about it. It wasn't that frustration had gone away. It's just like just because I don't think about it every day doesn't mean it's still not a shitty thing.
Exactly.
And you know I'm glad that they just went back and like, all right, we're gonna try it, and like they're already understanding that doing this means they're gonna have to look at doing this with other games too. And that willingness is good. It like our friend Plank Fan, we have like a DM thread, and he said, "Turns out all you needed was just tons and tons of bad press before you went back on this." It's true. Like people just were like, still doesn't make any sense why this doesn't just work. And it was just there were some people just still saying that every week, and eventually Sony caved. And that sucks for them because it sucks to be in the position when you're the one that caves because you just look weaker or people think differently of you or blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's those people that can play together or use their same accounts and unlock stuff and play on whatever platform they want to. Like they're the ones winning, and that's what matters.
I mean, like people give shit to Xbox about like them going back on the DRM thing, but like that's the right thing to fucking do.
It was the right thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, I'm glad Sony did it, and that is hopefully the big takeaway coming once we transition out of this generation to the next, where I don't think this will be as big or at all a conversation. Where it's like, you know, they got there, we all got there, which is good.
And like the bigger thing about it now, when you really think about it now, like they have to like because now we're at a point now, like if every game is crossplay now they have to focus on exclusives, and like Sony's already kind of there, and Microsoft is going to like go all guns blazing as far as the next generation. I would think
Microsoft's getting there. And
yeah,
and
so
Nintendo's
like
just always been there. So
yeah, so now it's just a matter of like where do you want to play and which games speak to you the most, and like like it'll feel good, I think, come the next generation as far as like having an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4 and whatever the next Nintendo hard system is going to be, because it'll be like now they actually have something on every console that like really speaks to you more. Like you like not to like dismiss people who like the Xbox One or anything like that. Not even to dismiss myself, but like you feel like you could have kind of like skipped the Xbox One this generation almost entirely, and you would have been fine, because like for the most part, I'm saying like there's still good games, but like for the most part for their exclusives, because of the whole PC thing, like like you're not really missing anything. But now I feel like you can have a good talking point for saying like, oh, I'm glad to have an Xbox One. I'm glad to have a PlayStation and now or for the next generation. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just rambling now, but I'm just saying.
no, I get you. I can still play with my friends. I can play the games that I like the most, and I'll have a good time. Let's take a peek at the mail sack. Remember, you can be part of the show in a variety of ways. You can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. Use the hashtag IPQ. We'll read them on the show. You can send us an email. Email address is mailsack@irrationalpodcast.com. We will read it on the show. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. And our good friend Silver PR did just that. So let's listen to it.
What up, guys? I hope you're here. Everybody's doing good and well. You know, after I finished recording my last voicemail, like pretty much the day after that, I platinumed Spider-Man. And I must say that it's one of the most satisfying platinums that I have ever done in this new era of achievements in consoles. And obviously, I finished the story, hence the trophy. And I must say that, I was quite a roller coaster ride in the end, very emotional, very heartwarming. And, it went to a direction that obviously I thought they were going to go, although I was thinking about it was going to be a Spider-Woman, but didn't happen. But you never
Spoilers,
know.
no Spider-Woman.
Don't say that. That's really special. But I'm looking forward for the New Game Plus. Obviously, the DLC of Black Cat in October. And, if they want to just give us a gimme, a freebie, like they should do like a challenge mode. Back in the day in the Arkham series, they had like these arena-based battles, there were challenges and whatnot. They should do some of those. I don't know. Maybe, if they put their heads together, maybe they can pull it off. Because, like, I don't know, maybe an endless mode, just kicking guys around just for shit and giggles. I don't know. That would be nice. But yeah, pretty much about video games there. And just side tangents. Let's just go straight to them. It's pretty much anime.
Animu.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, My Hero Academia, got to a really, really good point in the story. A couple episodes ago, there was a big battle between two of the characters in the story. Two of the heroes. Obviously, I don't want to name.
I'll say I had a little bit of that fight spoiled for me, and that's the reason I haven't caught up on My Hero Academia in a little while. It bummed me out. Gifts on Twitter, Nabashin. That's I understand now why you left. You're like, I'm out.
Them, but fans know what I'm talking about. I don't know if Alex got to that episode. I was, salivating and going like, oh man, have you seen this episode, Alex? Have you seen it yet? Oh man, it's so good. Oh, that was a good battle. Good, emotional story in the battle, whatever. And yeah, My Hero Academia is still the best.
It's the best.
Also, Persona 5, the animation. I thought that I was watching the whole series, but it seems that it's still ongoing. So I pretty much catch up to it. And for those who know about the game and the story, I'm in the point where they changed the heart of a detective. I believe it's one of the sisters of of the crew of the Phantom
Okay.
Thieves, and I'm now in the thick of the fallout after that. So
Hmm.
I don't know if it's part of the story or whatnot, but I'm just looking forward to see what's in store about the story because it's getting good. Also, I did saw some anime, but I wouldn't suggest to watch the anime. I suggest you go straight to the manga because it's one of those animes that are like 12 episodes, but it's about a bigger storyline in manga that they never finish in the anime. They get their liberties in the story and whatnot, and it's like they leave you like in an open-ended ending, so you can just keep watching the manga afterwards. It's a series called Bitoom.
Oh,
Btoom.
that's old.
That is
And it's
old,
pretty
yeah.
much a battle royale sort of storyline. But instead of guns or people killing each other, you know, with other means, the main source of weaponry in this game of death, it's bombs. It's pretty much like based on a fake game and whatnot, and then they just put like a lot of people on an island. They just, for some reason, they're in an island. They're just trying to kill each other because evil people are just sadistic bastards. Obviously, it's very much more of an adult theme kind of manga. It has rape themes in it. Not that all the time, but they have them. So if you're a little bit sensitive to that, I will not suggest you watch this or read about this. But it's a good story overall, and you know, as an adult, I'm kind of enjoying it. So yeah, it's called Bitoon. You can check that out. I recommend it. I like
It's
it.
actually an anime we watched
Uh,
on MupX. Fun fact.
yeah, that's pretty much it. That's nothing else to talk about. Maybe we got a new section that I want to put in here. It's called Silver PR's Meme of the Moment. Work, work in progress, whatever. Obviously, what is the meme of the moment right now? It's Bowsette. I don't know why he stumbled upon it right now.
She.
Yeah, come on.
It's something
on,
like
dude.
it feels like it should have been done many years ago, especially in this era of the internet.
Yeah, come on.
And fan service.
I'm
And
disappointed
fan
in
art
you,
and
internet.
whatnot. So I'm just like, kind of weird that it happens right now, and it started to trend like
Well, I
wildfire.
think
And obviously, and
Go on.
it comes from something that just came out in
Yeah,
the Mario
yeah.
game.
No.
So that's why it didn't happen until now.
But like you would want to, I would have hoped that the internet would have come up with this fucking idea
I feel
on
like
their own.
people have made female Bowser before,
Yeah, true.
but like now it is mainstream.
Now it's the mainstream. Now it's cool to like female Bowser.
anything that trends like this, especially when it comes to video games, it breaks the rules of the internet, and it just goes into the wide two sides of the spectrum. And depending if you go into the light route or the dark web route, well, you know what you're gonna find.
The
So
dark web route. I love it.
it's kind of like that. So it's pretty much about it. It's something that Nintendo's not gonna even touch with a 10-foothold, whatever pole, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm just learning words. It's too late for me right here in my night shift. Anyway, that's pretty much about me. Have a happy Saturday. So PR signing out.
There it is. Thank you, Silver PR. A couple of things. One, I also forgot that I played Spider-Man this week. I like mainlined a bunch of the story in Spider-Man because I was like, there was a point where I was just like, I don't fucking care about these fucking backpacks. Like, I don't like. I get a lot of open world fatigue from Spider-Man, and it really bums me out. It's exactly like the kind of open world game I think that I was worried that it would be, which is kind of a bummer. But it's you know, it's still fun. I still have a good time with that.
Are you getting an Odyssey?
Am I what?
Are you getting an Odyssey?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
actually really excited about Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Not Super Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Everything I've heard about it also makes it sound like kind of like a little bit more refined Origins, which is exactly what I wanted. I liked Origins a lot, so I'm excited to play something like that again. But yeah, it's just like the kind of checklistiness of the Spider-Man stuff. Like, go here, fight this dude. Go here, collect this thing on this wall, blah, blah, blah. Whereas like Assassin's Creed is like RPG, like do this quest, collect these things, come get this, craft this, get this loot, right? It's similar but different things for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it makes sense. But yeah, I just mainlined a bunch of the story in Spider-Man. I got to the point in the story there where things have gotten real, I would say. Where shit got real. I got through the raft scene that they showed at E3 last year, for point of reference. I think
Okay.
I feel like everyone will kind of understand what that means. I liked how like that played out in the actual game versus the demo that they showed there. I appreciated
Would
that.
you like to know how close you are to finishing the game?
Sure. How close am I?
I would say you're like 2/3 through it.
Okay.
Like
I I did a little bit more past that. I had an aerial fight with 2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last one I did.
Yeah, then you're super about to close the end then.
Okay.
You'll have like another villain, like something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
Then more MJ stuff, and then like that's pretty much the end game after that.
Okay, cool. I like it. I like speaking of like, this isn't necessarily a spoiler, but speaking of like the Amazing Spider-Man 2's attempt to set up the Sinister Six, that scene from E3, like where you see Scorpion and Rhino and Vulture and Electro and Mr. Negative, and then like a mysterious 6th villain. Like you're like, okay, like they're setting this up, and like they're gonna try and do this. And I like how the game approaches that. I think it's fun. I'm kind of over. My thing is like the most of the things that I have left to do side mission wise, story or like collectible wise, is like the hangouts, like the Kingpin hangouts and the warehouses for the demons and whatnot, like all the gangs, and like I feel like they just take so long. And I like the combat a lot in that game, but it just feels like those things just go on forever.
Were you interested in Spider-Man, Scott? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it before the year's out.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you'll dig it, Scott.
I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
but now I have a PS4, and it's kind of like the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was turned off about it by the problems you were having and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But at the same time, you still beat the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of says a lot. Says a lot about it. And it looks like it's kind of gotten, if at the very least, it doesn't seem it's as bad as I thought it was in terms of how likely you were to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you'd dig it, Scott. I think you'll, at the very least, very much appreciate the Spider-Man parts of it. Whether you
Agreed.
get into the gameplay or whatnot, the story is gonna definitely hit notes for you. Batum was an anime that we watched for Malicious Underground Podcast X. Greg, Nep, and I all watched it. And we all thought it was very sexist. Actually. I don't know, there's like one major female character in that game, or in that movie. Anime. God, whatever words.
In that media.
In that medium of medias. And I just think she's just done really poorly. To be fair, I feel like the manga probably approaches it from a different perspective, so I don't know, it didn't sit well. I think like it sucks because there are a lot of cool aspects to what that show is doing, and like the plot and the battle royale things about it, and et cetera, et cetera. But
It's basically Fortnite.
it's basically Fortnite with grenades.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different kinds of grenades in that show. Bombs. And I'll catch up on My Hero Academia. I'll actually do it.
Watch that movie, dude.
I want to. Tony, we should go see it.
Literally look up dates, because I said it's like from the 2nd of October, but like I don't know how like widespread it is. So, and like when I went to go see it, it was just at 7:30 in at the AMC, but like that was like the only one in the area. There's only one showing up that night, and like it was sold out like for like the last 2 days before then. So I'm just saying.
I'm 7 to 4 on Tuesday, Tony. I get up early. We can go see it.
Okay.
We'll hold each other's hands. We'll have a good time. Scott, do you want to come? Oh, Tuesday you can't probably.
Yeah.
That's right. You told me about your week. The bonus
The only
content.
day I'd be able to be Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, yeah. Shit. It'll be out of theaters by then. We'll make it happen.
Scott, if you want, we could go watch, go in the movie theaters and watch an event where they stream all 12 episodes of Yuri on Ice.
Hell yeah!
I would be so down.
I know you'd be down, Teddy. That's it for Silver Pierre's question. Unless you guys had
Real
any
thing, by the
comments.
way. I've been considering that.
How are y'all feeling about Bowsette?
Great.
I feel pretty good about it too.
Bouette's better.
I don't like listen, the Pro ZD skit
Very
has
good.
to rank.
It's very good. That's fair. The Irrational Passions Slack feels very bad about Bowsette.
What about Bouette, though?
I haven't gotten their opinions on it, but I'll
What about Bonsai Billset?
What about Waluigi? I saw one that was Waluigi putting on the crown that turns these people into Peachette or whatever. And Waluigi puts it on and it just gives him a one up. And the comment under it is, "You can't improve upon imperfection."
Look at Bouette.
And I thought that was really fucking funny. I'll Google image search Bouette real quick.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, Jesus. Man. There, if you ever doubted the internet, you were wrong.
I don't know, it's giving me pretty good reason to doubt it right now.
Of just like the capacity for the internet to make something just very sexual.
They made it fucky, dude.
Yeah, they made it all fucky again. I don't know. Are you getting a lot of Instagram pings about Bowsette, Nabashin, or are you pretty clear from it?
Katie's been keeping me exposed to it.
Okay, good.
Because she has a lot of cosplay friends, so
Yeah.
that's
They're all about to I gotta make my Bouette costume. Hold up.
Yo, Jessica Negri was on it like the next fucking day.
Yeah, dude. She's
God.
already got her Patreon tiers updated, dude.
He's already got fucking Warioette for the next thing going.
Hell
you know?
yeah. We only got one Twitter question. It's from our good friend Cameron Abbott at Unsexiest Comedy on Twitter. His current Twitter name is Connor Kenway is still a great protagonist, which is a lot for me to take in. Connor Kenway, the protagonist of Assassin's Creed 3. I want you to know, Nabashin, let me pull it up here. Jarrett's current Twitter name is
Oh, thank you.
Connor Kenway was right, which is really good. Anyway, this Twitter question comes from Cameron Abbott, good friend, host of Not a Gamers podcast. He says, "How hard are your nips for Kingdom Hearts 3?"
So soft, dude.
I have inverted nipples, fun fact, and they're protruding rock hard like diamonds out my body. What's the hype check, Nabashin, for Kingdom Hearts 3?
It's there. Because I'm not on the social medias as much anymore. Like I think I'm in a good it's been good because of I haven't been on social media as much because it can just come out and be great. Like Valkyria Chronicles, I think I still would enjoyed it and I love it as much as if I did, but I have a greater appreciation being off the constant hype cycle that is my friends on the internet. Like with Persona 5, that's why one of the reasons I think that game blew me away is because of how
Media blackout
I was. So yeah, even though I'm not media blackout with Kingdom Hearts 3, I'll have my own excitement, I have my own thoughts, and I don't have not that like I hate my friends because they do this, because that's who they are, and like I love them for it. But like I won't have like the snarky the things to bring me down about the game.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
like the realism of the game to bring me down. I mean, I have Tony, but like that's fine. I love Tony.
Yeah.
Tony Horvath. Yes.
But he also doesn't play it, and he's wrong.
And then we have Scott. We got the perfect balance. No, I mean, like, I feel like Scott, Nobsh, and I, we should make like a separate text thread the week that comes out. Not for spoilers or to talk about the story, but just to tell each other, like, fuck. Like, every now and again. Yeah, it's like, I'm there, man. Through the moon. To the moon, through the roof. Very excited. Thank everyone for your questions. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, please send them in. We love them. We love a good question here and there. But we've reached the end of the show. A couple of reminders real quick. If you like the show, we'd very much appreciate it if you rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or Spotify, wherever you listen to it. You can follow the show on social media at IrrationalPod on Twitter, Irrational Passions on Instagram. George Cruz does a whole lot of work getting stuff up there, making like little clipped out videos for our video reviews or our podcasts and stuff like that. So go follow us there. Check out our other shows of Input and Get Acquainted and the Video Game Book Club and Podcast Ultimate. We have tons of shows. Probably one out there is something that you would like. We'd appreciate it if you checked it out. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, irrationalpassions.com. That's where you get it all. But we've reached the end of the show, which means it is now time for bets. This week's bet. We got a good one. I'm excited about this one. I thought of this one, so it's probably not actually that good, but I'm excited about it. This time next week, what will the trophy percentage for the Assassin's Creed Odyssey trophy ramming speed be? This is only on PS4. The way you get the ramming speed trophy is to cleave a ship in half. I'm gonna say, so I didn't really look up anything on this. I don't have any point of reference. I doubt this will be that hard. I don't know. But you know, this is really a blind bet. I'm gonna let y'all know. Assassin's Creed Odyssey does come out on Friday next week, but I think it comes out on Tuesday for people that paid like more for the special edition or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind as well. So this time next week, it's weird. I keep thinking like, oh, we record on Fridays. It's like the day the game came out, but we're on Saturdays now, so it's it'll be a little bit of extra time for people to play it. You can go throw up your. I just looked at the Discord chat, and Tony's just got all these fucking memes in here. You can throw up your bets when you're ready. All right. Wow, this is a good spread.
Jesus.
Novishin said 10, Tony said 20, and Scott said 30%, which is really funny. I said 21.8%. I like to go with the specific numbers. It's more fun for me. But yeah, I'm just above 10.
You should change your bet to 40.
No. So we can have a full spread?
Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah.
He could have.
I mean, I still could, technically. There's nothing stopping me. I mean, I don't want to necessarily change it.
You already said it.
Yeah.
We're holding you to it.
Hold you to it. That's fine. Last week's bets. Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, releases on September 27th. How many gigabytes will the download size be on PS4? Do you remember how much it was, Nabashin?
It was 9 point something.
9 point something?
Yeah.
I bet 4.6. It's funny. Last week, Tony, you bet 4.7. So you edged me out last week, and I edged you out this week. Scott bet 5. Nabashin, you bet 8. So if it was 9, I can confirm that if you like.
Please.
PS4 downloads. Do. Here we go. Oh, that's before the storm. That doesn't help me at all. Here we go. It was like 9.55 gigs, and then it made me like refresh the page. Here we go. 9.55 gigs. Yes, crushed it.
Something else I've been playing this week, I completely forgot about Dragon Quest 11. Still a great game. That's all I want to say.
Have you played Life is Strange yet?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I.
Guys, me neither.
Nice. Which means Team Namashi won the bet, bringing our team total to 43 points. Now, y'all had to have an emergency meeting to change your name.
We didn't actually have the meeting. It was if I wasn't going to be here, I had to have the meeting.
Yeah. What's the new name?
We are Team Bowsette now.
Okay.
Predictable.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, when a meme is this big.
Then no longer Team Bongo Cat. Maybe the shortest-lived name.
We're doing this right.
Yeah?
Team Peach Hauser.
No, we're not Team Peach House.
Yes, we are.
No,
Team-
I will leave this team. I will make my own team with half the points.
Get the fuck out of here.
Team Bowsette / Team Peachhauser is at a strong 45 points, still winning. And I'm still a little salty about it. I'm not gonna lie. But you know what? NATO pulled the weight. He got you guys here. That's it.
Actually, it was all us.
Okay.
They didn't do shit.
Okay, cool. Next time Nate is on the show, I'll be sure to remind him that you said that.
Yeah.
I have to say something else to him first. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to remember. And Tony just is continuing to send us Buet images in our Discord now. I don't know how many of these you have.
I mean, I googled Buet, dude. I got infinite.
But that's it. That's the show. Thanks everybody for listening and tuning in, whether it was live or in the audio version that will eventually be out, I promise. Or what's not.
Alex, I have something for you.
Yeah? What you got?
Yeah. Click that link.
I'm not going to click that link quite yet. But I'm going to throw the show out first. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Go check out Danny Wiesner. He's got a Bandcamp. He's got some good tunes up there. He made a Destiny 2 one at one point that got retweeted by Nathan Fillion. It's very cool. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Nabshin, for being here. I love you guys. As always, big hugs all the way around. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your game, stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles?
Titles?
Titles.
Got The Sack is Back.
Bet.
Excuse you.
I fucking love you, Scott.
What the?
That one.
Oh, what a good... I know, I wasn't ready for that. All right, go read the titles.
Destiny is ruining my life.
Just how salty you are, Tony. I love it.
Some sort of beta. Dark web route. It's like Fortnite with grenades. Connor Kenway was right. And bets.
We can't do bets because that was too good. People have to be surprised by that.
Yep.
I like Destiny's ruining my life. I'm a little biased, but it's very real.
I mean, you said it like 5 times in the show, so it's fine with me.
Tony, what do you like?
That's fine.
Scott?
Yeah.
All right. We're all in agreement. Destiny is ruining my life. Who wants to say the episode number? I'll say the title. Wow. I love the volunteers. Now, you want to say it? I don't think you did last week.
I did do last week's. This is Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 398. 396.
396.
Rational Passion Podcast, episode 396.
Destiny is ruining my life. That's it. Enough said. That's the show. Thank you everyone for watching. And have a good night. Bye.